Hi, I'm Brendan, and with Halloween fast approaching, what better time than now to teach you how to carve a jack-o'-lantern that even those neighbors down the road that always go overboard on holidays will envy. So here's what we'll need. A large spoon, a large knife, a small knife, bowl, stencils, marker, candle, napkins, and tape. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off the top. To save time, I've already done so. Also make sure to cut anything that's hanging off as well. Once you've cut the top off, get your large spoon and try and get everything out of the inside. And just scrape everything out. Make sure when you get the top, cutting the top off that you cut the hole large enough for your hand to fit through, as well as at an angle so that it'll fit back on correctly. And just try and get everything out of the inside, because when you put the candle in, it's going to start to rot. The spoon that I have comes from a pumpkin carving kit, and it's probably the most practical way to carve a pumpkin is to get a pumpkin carving kit. The spoon's double-sided. It has this side, which kind of like prongs. That's to get the pulp out, and then this side is kind of flat, so you can scrape the sides. And just make sure to try and get everything out. You can put the seeds in a pan if you want and roast them. I'm not a fan of pumpkin, but if you are, I'm sure it tastes good. And if you don't get everything out, it's okay. You can go back and get it out later. And I think it's pretty good. So once you get most of the stuff out of the inside, we're going to get a stencil. The stencils that I have look like this, and they come in paper and a little book. They have black parts, and you're actually going to be tearing the black off of the paper, and then you're going to tape it to the pumpkin. I already have a stencil selected, and this is it. So now we're going to get a marker and actually color in the stencil. Just kind of trace the inside of it. And just try and do the best you can. If you mess up, it's not a big deal. You can always go back over it. And try, if you're going to cut the inside of it, it's going to be gone. So if you get extra lines where you don't want them to be, don't worry. The stencil I have is pretty simple, but they make really complicated designs as well. All right, just about finished. So once you're finished, you can remove the stencil from the pumpkin, and you should, don't tear it first, because you may have to go back and redraw something if you missed it, or if it's not what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so mine came out pretty well, and as you can see, it's a rough estimate of what it's supposed to look like. We're now going to get our large knife, and we're going to cut out the longer pieces of it. And just try and stay to the outside of the black line so that it doesn't show up on the pumpkin. And try when you cut to use kind of short sawing motion so that it's very accurate. And you can save the more detailed portions of the carve for the smaller knife. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so you can take your time. And if it starts to come out while you're cutting, that's okay. Just let it come out. It's not a big deal. I'm going to finish up carving the mouth before anything else. Now I'm going to cut my nose holes. And when you're doing these nose areas, kind of like these small circles like on mine, you really want to use that short sawing motion so that it's very precise. Cut the eyes. And the only bad part about the carving kit is that it comes with these knives, and the knives are very flimsy and they bend very easily. So if you want, you can get like a kitchen knife. Just make sure it's serrated, strong enough to withstand a carving. All right, so as you can see, it's started to kind of pop out. You can just take your knife and actually pop pieces out. If it doesn't pop out, it just means that you didn't trace it with a knife or follow with the knife as well as you should have, which is okay. See, like, this one doesn't want to come out, so I got to recut, refollow my line, just to make sure that I have everything. All right, so that should come out now. There you go. Like that. And this eye just doesn't want to come out though. There you go. Okay. So once you're finished carving, you can make sure that your pumpkin's cleaned out on the inside very well. And we're going to get our candle, place the candle on the inside, get our lighter, light the candle, and put the top back on. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's show. All that's left is to turn out the lights and impress your friends. Have a happy Halloween.